What is going on, guys? We are now in week 6 of the NFL season. This season's gone by pretty quick. We're already a third of the way through pretty much, or will be after this week. But either way, jersey giveaway is going on right now. You have till Saturday the 14th to get in a nice jersey giveaway, whatever jersey you want. Go to my channel. I'll link the video right here above this right here, and make sure y'all join the jersey giveaway. Yeah, let's hit 600 subs this week. Come on, let's do it. This time, we're already on good pace. We're already got like 518. It's my birthday today. So, how about we get 600 subs for me on my birthday? That'd be great. Thanks. Either way, let's get right in this video. Alright, so here we are in our prediction video, week 6. Moving right on along we go. We will start my record. So far, I didn't do this week 1 for whatever reason. I don't know why. I went 12-4 though in my predictions for week 2. 8-8, 12-4, and then 8-6. So 12-8, 12-8 is what it looks like. Hopefully this is another 12-win week. Total of 40-22. Just interesting to keep up with, see what I can do. So, right into this we will go. First off, the full schedule, here we are. Thursday Night Football tonight will be the Broncos and the Chiefs. And then you have two teams on bye, Steelers and Packers. Monday Night Football is the Chargers and the Cowboys. Sunday Night Football is Giants and Bills. Both of those games should probably be, well, I guess Chargers and Cowboys could be decent, but the Bills game will suck. So for Thursday Night Football, here's what we're looking at. The Broncos will go to Kansas City to play division rival, the Chiefs. And Russell Wilson has been pretty decent this year, but the Broncos have been very bad. I'm thoroughly expecting them to start shipping out players. Review my trade predictions video I just posted a couple days ago at this point. Their defense has been atrocious. 32nd ranked so far. That's based off points per game alone, but 450 yards per game, only 12 sacks in 5 weeks now. Not the best. Could be, I mean, it's not terrible, but it could be better. Jaleel McLaughlin has kind of stepped up in the absence of what's his name? Javonte Williams. But, I mean, there's a lot for this team to have to get together for them to actually be competitive at all before they start burning this team to the ground. And then the Chiefs on the other side, Patrick Mahomes, 31-41 last week, 109 rating, had a good week. They played the Vikings, who have a bad defense, so you really shouldn't expect much else. Kelsey finally did break out a little bit this past week with 10 receptions, but, I mean, nothing amazing. That defense for the Chiefs, though, has been pretty stellar, to this point at least. Ranking in 4th so far, 14 points per game allowed, just over 300 yards, 13 sacks, 6 turnovers forced. Not amazing, but pretty good numbers, that is. So, with this game, I do expect the Chiefs to win this one. However, I think this one will be close because interdivision games can always have something crazy happen. But because I say it'll be close, it'll probably be a blowout. They'll win like 45-0. But either way, this could be a game the Broncos do win. It could be a trap game is what they, tend to call them. But I do think the Chiefs will handle business. I think they're good enough. But then again, who knows? Moving on to the 8:30 London game this week. Baltimore technically at Tennessee, but not really. Baltimore last week, I don't remember who they played right now, to be honest with you. They played Pittsburgh. How do I not know that? Yeah, Lamar is owned by Pittsburgh. Let me say that. Pittsburgh is not playing this week, so I'm going to give my spiel for Pittsburgh right here, right now. Fire Matt Canada. Big Ben needs to be the offensive coordinator, and the Ravens stink. But either way, they didn't do a whole lot last week offensively. Only scored 1 touchdown on a run from, I believe it was Justice Hill. Their defense has been okay, allowing about 15 points per game, 266 yards, 18 sacks is great, 6 turnovers, okay. I say they've been okay. They've been pretty good, but they've also played lower in competition and, kept the Browns on a bad week where they were playing Dorian Thompson-Robinson, played the Colts on a bad week, things like that, I don't know. Kind of take it with a grain of salt a little bit, to be honest. But they're 3-2 so far. And then the Titans. Last week they played the Colts, got outplayed by Gardner Minshew. Ryan Tannehill's an issue here. You can't keep expecting him to do things and making this team win. However, their defense has played well to who they've played. They played the Bengals when they were in a slump, so maybe take that one with a grain of salt. But, they've been fine. The fact that they did lose to Gardner Minshew, maybe I can't give them so much credit. But either way, this game, I think the Titans will win and even up their record with the Ravens at 3-3. I think this will be a very close game, a very messy game. Lamar's just been okay this season, not really done a whole lot. I think this Titans defense does force Lamar to make some mistakes, and, Derrick Henry in the run game get back on track. Odafe Owe has not been playing, and I don't think he'll play this week again. So, either way, Titans win this one as well in London. Moving on there, we start our 1 o'clock series. Commanders at Falcons. This one's actually in Atlanta, though. Sam Howell had a pretty good week himself last week, but they also lost to the Bears, so I guess that's a pretty bad week. Not to mention, he probably still hasn't eaten a steak or a burger, so he's not very good in that sense either in terms of, his health and human, enjoyment of life, because I don't know how you can enjoy life without eating beef. Either way, yeah, that's a rough one, allowing 40 points to the Bears, mainly because it was all DJ Moore doing it, which he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but you had one player just kill you constantly. So, yeah, they've got to figure something out. Ron Rivera does kind of look checked out, as Pat McAfee did mention on his show. I just don't know what he's doing still in the NFL, to be honest. He's a limited head coach at this point. He was good at one time, but he's just not there anymore. And then the defense, they've been okay. Nothing special. Those stats are a little inflated from last week. They were better before that. 16 sacks is pretty good. 5 turnovers, honestly, for the players you have, is not too bad. I don't blame them for that. Logan Thomas had a good week last week. And, it is what it is for them. But on the Falcons side, Bijan was a little down last week. And, it just is what it is. Their defense has been holding it together, not getting to the quarterback or forcing too many turnovers. But they're keeping points off the board. They're keeping yards off the field. They're not bending or breaking hardly. Yeah, Desmond Ridder did kind of shut some people up a little bit last week, but to be honest with you, nobody's going to shut up because he's really still not that good. He didn't really prove anything. He's probably never going to prove anything, to be honest, that really gets people to stop talking about him in the way they do. He's just not a great quarterback, and if I'm them, I'm looking to get Kirk Cousins because he might be on sale right now. So, either way, that's another story. This game will come down to the Commanders winning their game, I think. 20-13 is my predicted score. It'll be a decent game, I think, and maybe Young Waku comes out and kicks another field goal to win another game, maybe, in another sense. But at the same time, I don't know. I think the Falcons, I think Desmond Ridder really limits them. The next game is the division rivalry of the Vikings at the Bears. I just blanked completely in my mind. Kirk Cousins. Against the Chiefs, he did pretty good. You really can't complain too much when that is. The problem with this team is Justin Jefferson just got hurt, and he's going to go on IR with, I believe it's a hamstring injury, if I'm not mistaken. Their defense has been atrocious. Though they are front 4, 7, whatever, they're getting some plays made. They're still on the edge. They're getting to the quarterback a little bit. You can't really complain too much. It's really just the points and the yards allowed that's killing them, and just stupid plays. But yeah, Jordan Addison, I actually think he could really have a coming out party this week. I think he's a very good receiver. Go back to the draft time. Check out my videos then. He was my number 1 receiver in this draft class, and I think he's good enough to help this team get through this slump without Justin Jefferson, especially with a team like Chicago who they're playing. Justin Fields. Oh, he had such a great week. He threw 50% completion, and all but 100 of his yards, maybe not even 100, are completely yak. They weren't his yards. DJ Moore scored like 140 yards of rack. So you could just basically trace it all away. 4-0, whatever. Yeah, it was all DJ Moore doing it. Great. He still stinks. He's not going to be good. Trade him if you want. Don't, and suffer with the consequences. The defense for the Bears sucks. A ton of yards allowed per game. Not getting to the quarterback. And, just allowing points. You're not going to win when you're the Bears. And honestly, I wouldn't be too concerned about it because maybe you can turn it around and get Caleb Williams. And Marvin Harrison Jr. too. That'd be great. Either way, I'm going to have the Vikings winning this game. The only reason the Bears put up this many points is because I think the Vikings defense is just going to struggle, per usual. But not really a huge surprise there, to be honest. Moving on, we got Seattle and the Bengals. Seattle's coming off a bye. These stats are from 2 weeks ago now, week 4. And for Seattle, I believe, who did they play then? I don't really remember. It was the Giants game. They beat the Giants, and they scored like 2 touchdowns on defense or something. That's a little bit sarcastic. But, yeah, Geno didn't have to do a whole lot. I don't really blame him for only throwing 13 of 20, but, yeah, it's just he didn't do a whole lot because he didn't have to. Kenneth Walker scored. The defenses looked pretty good. Well, they came around last week, really. They were iffy before that. They're ranked 10th currently just in points per game. That might not be right, honestly. I don't know. I can't think of it right now, and that just doesn't really seem right. But either way, I don't remember. 16 sacks is pretty good. Those numbers should be pretty accurate as long as they're different from the next, so they should be good. They should be normal numbers. Sorry. Back to the point. Joe Burrow finally had a good week. Did throw one pick, but scored 3 touchdowns straight to Jamar Chase for almost 200 yards to him. And the defense has been, being the defense. They've been good. These games been bad. Those games, it just is what it is. With them coming off bye, though, I do think Seattle will win this game. I think Joe Burrow is probably still not 100%, and it will affect how they play in this game against a team that's actually decent and not the Arizona Cardinals. All props to you, Arizona, for being a formidable team to this point. But either way, I just can't give them too much credit right now. The Bengals, I think they'll struggle again in this game, but we'll see what happens. Moving on, the 49ers and the Browns. The Deshaun Watson, we don't even know if he's going to play. Dorian Thompson-Robinson was pretty bad in his game against, who was it? I don't remember now. The Baltimore Ravens, that's who it was. They came off a bye last week as well. Deshaun Watson, if he's back, this is a different story. However, the Browns' defense has been very good. They're not turning over the ball, but they're not allowing any points or any yards. That's a lot to ask for, and they're doing good at that. However, you have the Niners. The Niners' defense has been really good. The Niners' offense has been really good. And if it's Dorian Thompson-Robinson, it doesn't matter. 36-10 is the best I can do, and that's probably with the starters not playing the second half for San Francisco. No, I'm kidding. But, if Watson's in, it might be different. Maybe it's, 30-17. But that's probably about it. Yeah, the Niners are going to win this game. Come on now. The Panthers, the Dolphins. This is kind of a similar situation. The Panthers have just not been very good. Bryce Young, he's just checking down a lot of passes, not really doing a whole lot. Though him and Adam Thielen have started connecting pretty dang well, to a point where I'm getting pretty comfortable with it. The defense for Carolina has been pretty rough. I would expect them to probably be looking to sell some pieces like Brian Burns, maybe J.C. Horn even, this offseason or this trade deadline even. They're 0-5, and that's not where you want to be after having the first pick in the draft, especially when you traded your pick this year to get that first pick. But the Dolphins, they've been very good. Devon Achane, if that's how you say that name. I said it weirdly weird. I don't know. He's averaging like 12 yards per carry, but he just hurt his knee and is now on IR. Raheem Mostert will regain a lot of his carries that he lost to Achane, and that'll be good for them. But they're going to run away with this game. They just are. It's going to be 38-16 or worse. This is kind of like the last game with Browns and Niners. It's just a high-end team to a low-end team, and that's just what it is. Moving on, another division matchup between the Colts and the Jaguars. Gardner Minshew played very well in his time under center after Anthony Richardson went out. And he'll be gone for a while, so Gardner Minshew Mania is back. Thank God for that. Great thing to see. Zach Moss had a heck of a game himself, almost 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor did come back, but did not do a whole lot last week. The Colts defense has been mediocre, allowing a lot of yards, not really keeping the points off the board greatly, but just been, back and forth. But they're playing a Jaguars team who really can't put points on the board, and the defense hasn't been particularly great either. So this is going to be an interesting game, especially because of those two teams not being at their best right now, and, this is a division matchup. Division matchups can always go either way. The Jaguars are coming off a very good win in London versus the Bills. However, I just don't know if it's going to be enough to really carry them throughout the season, or if they are the team that we expected them to be before the season started. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and say Jaguars win a close one, 24-20, and we get, the Jaguars maybe trying to climb back to the place where we thought they'd be prior to this season starting. Moving on to another 1 o'clock game, the Saints versus the Texans. Derek Carr played okay last week. Didn't have to do a whole lot. I don't remember who they played. The Patriots, that's who they played. But they didn't score a point. Mac Jones was benched after the third again, 2 weeks in a row. Alvin Kamara is getting his touches very well. 25 touches in the game. The defense is good. CJ Stroud has been good, but he's been very careful with everything, and I think that's going to limit the Texans team. And with this defense playing like it is for New Orleans, I don't see the Texans winning this game at all. Though their defense has been pretty good comparatively. Dalton Schultz has been very good. He's stepping out a little bit, becoming a better receiving option. And, the weapons are underwhelming in Houston, but they're playing up. But does that continue? I don't know. I think it does not. And I think they fall to 2-4. The Saints climb to 4-2, and they win this one in a pretty convincing manner. And I think Derek Carr finally plays good in this game. Next, we have the toilet bowl game of the week. Patriots versus Raiders. Mac Jones has been atrocious. 12 for 22, 110 yards last week versus the Saints, a 30 rating. Ramondre Stevenson wasn't much better. I included him here really just to point out that this offense stinks. 8 carries, 24 yards, just 3 yards per carry. They had to throw a lot because they were behind by 30 points the whole game, and Bailey Zappi didn't do any better. The defense has been okay, but, I mean, it's hard to be very good when your offense is just awful. So, I don't know. I really can't blame the defense that much. But thankfully, they're going up against a bad team themselves in the Raiders. I believe they won last week. Yes, they did to the Packers in a Monday night showdown. It was a messy game itself. And, maybe that's a game where if the Patriots were there instead of the Packers, maybe they win because they're not a team like the Packers who, is loose a little bit, has a younger coach, has younger players. No, it's the Patriots who have Bill Belichick and, a pretty stern function of a team. So, I don't know. Maybe they win this game. Maybe they don't. The Raiders have probably overachieved already. They've won 2 games, and that probably shouldn't have happened by this point. Josh Jacobs has been okay, not really where we thought he'd be. Their defense has not been that great either. They're really not getting to the quarterback very well. Not really forcing turnovers either. So this game, I think the Patriots will swing this one in their favor and win. Excuse me, I was trying to make sure the records were there, right? 16-10. It's going to be a boring game. It's going to be a crappy one just like the Raiders had last week, but a win is a win. The Cardinals will play division rival Rams, and this one could be really good. Josh Dobbs has been, well, a lot better than expected to this point, and he's been, keeping them in games, which is good. And then James Conner is now on IR, so Emari Demercado, I believe is how you say his name, had a good week for himself last week, getting 4.5 yards per carry, as well as a catch for 12 yards. The defense for the Cardinals is not very good, though they do get to the quarterback. They force some turnovers. They're timely, but not very good at holding off points and holding off yards. And with an explosive offense like the Rams, you may be in for some trouble. This is a divisional matchup, so it could go either way. But Matthew Stafford likes to sling it, and Cooper Kupp's back, so I think they're going to sling it. Cooper Kupp had like 5 catches in the first 2 seconds of that game last week, and I just think it's going to grow. Puka Nacua had a great 5 weeks. Bye, Puka. Cooper's back, and you're going to take a hit. Puka did good last week with Kupp back. Great. Fantasy-wise, if I have Puka Nacua, trading him immediately. He's not going to be valuable much after the next few weeks, I don't think. But the problem with this Rams team is their defense. They're not a bad unit, but they're not getting to the quarterback. They're not forcing turnovers. Those are things you have to do to win football games. Though, I do think this week they will come out on top 28-24 in a close divisional game once again. Moving on to Eagles versus Jets. This is kind of just like the Browns and the Niners. The Eagles, though they had not been playing good, they've been better than most teams. And Jalen Hurts had a semi-MVP week last week. Not great in terms of the passing, but add on another 70 yards rushing or so and a touchdown there. Looked really good. Looked just more comfortable than he had been all season. Dallas Goedert had a big game for himself. The defense, they've been fine. The secondary's not been together well, and they've got to figure that out. 19 points per game is not bad. 300 yards is not bad. 15 sacks not bad, but just not great. Nothing's great for them right now. Eagles are a very good team. I think they will figure it out. We just got to see it happen. And then on the other side, the Jets. Zach Wilson. I mean, he had a great week versus the Chiefs, but is he going to do it again? Highly doubt it. Brees Hall had a good week. He is finally off his snap count, and I think he is going to break off the rest of the season and be one of the best backs in the league. I already got him in my fantasy team, so yep, that'll be good. 177 yards last year. There was a 73-yard rush in there, but that would still be, over 100 yards on 20 carries? That's not bad at all. The defense for the Jets is kind of what's keeping them around. They're only allowing about 19.8 points per game. They're getting to the quarterback okay. Their, yards could be better, but they're bending, not breaking. So, could this Jets team win? No. They're going to lose 29-17. Moving on, Lions and the Bucks. The Bucks coming off a bye. This is from 2 weeks ago. When they played, I don't remember who. That's been 2 weeks ago. I think it was the Saints, and they beat the tar of the Saints. Yep, that sounds right. Either way, the Lions have been very good. Last week was a very good week for them. And the Bucks have been pretty dang good themselves. Their defense has been really keeping them in games, making turnovers, getting to the quarterback an okay amount, keeping points off the board, not allowing too many yards. Baker Mayfield's played well. The offense been moving, scoring touchdowns. They're getting guys in. They're getting guys touches. They're scoring points. And that's how you win games, obviously. Jared Goff, on the other hand, has been very good. David Montgomery has been very good when he's healthy. The defense has been keeping points off the board for the most part, not allowing yards. getting to the quarterback, not forcing a ton of turnovers, but getting a good amount. This is going to be a very good game is what I'm trying to say in a very long-winded form. I'm ready for this game. I think this is going to be the game of the week, potentially. It's really going to depend on if both teams come out to play. And I really hope they do because these are two teams that no one had. Well, there was a lot of hype for the Lions, but I think it was partially a joke. But it's turned out well, and I think it'd be really cool to see these two teams go at it and really fight for a playoff spot with that on the line. I think it'll be 31-29 or something like that. The Lions will win. I think they're just a better team. I trust Jared Goff a little more, and they have just more going for them right now, so I think they will win this game. Moving on to Sunday Night Football. Giants, Bills. A Giant game that's going to suck. Daniel Jones has not been good. He's hurt. He's got a neck injury. Tyrod Taylor might be playing. That's even worse. The Giants' defense sucks. They're not getting sacks. They're not getting turnovers. The Bills, on the other hand, are getting all of the sacks and all of the turnovers, but their defense is dying. Matt Milano's out. Daquan Jones is out. Trey White's out. There's probably 4 or 5 other starters out that might come back this year, but those guys are all gone for the whole season. Josh Allen had a decent week himself, but made a couple plays that were a little boneheaded. That's Josh Allen for you. Stephon Diggs has been very good. I don't need to talk about this game anymore. Bills 36-6. The Giants' offense can't move anything as is. You really think if Tyrod Taylor's playing, they're going to move anything? No. And if Daniel Jones is playing with a broken neck, well, it's the Bills. Good luck. Now, Monday Night Football. Cowboys, Chargers coming off the bye. Chargers last played the Raiders. Not the best week for them, though they did win. They're allowing a ton of yards, a decent amount of points. That is definitely not the right ranking for their defense. But 16 sacks is pretty good. Cowboys got stomped on Sunday Night Football last week. Thank you. Come again. I'd love to see it happen again from the Chargers. That'd be great just to see them just crumble. Usually the Cowboys fallout doesn't happen this early in the season. So that's awesome. Love seeing that. Dak Prescott actually stinks. They should trade him for probably a bag of chips before they get a half bag of chips or less. Kyler Murray's a good option. Let me just say that. Kirk Cousins is a better option. I'll say that. Not necessarily to Kyler, but definitely to Dak. Either way, I don't really have much to say. This game could be pretty good. The Cowboys, when they don't play great teams, are a good team because they beat bad teams. But they don't beat good teams. Justin Herbert has been good, not great. But that's just the Chargers' story of their life. I really hope for the best that the Chargers win this game because the Cowboys stink. And I have them winning 26-20. Yeah, it's not a great game, honestly. I think the Cowboys are done already. I think last week was a shot to their heart. And they are to blame. They give the game of football a bad name. That was awful. Either way, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, enter the jersey giveaway before it ends this Saturday, the 14th. And either way, thank you all for watching. Peace.